Bloom, Vice President of Right Design Alliance. On behalf of RDA and the Board of Directors, I welcome you to this evening's presentation and lecture as our second annual Spotlight, the Right Design Alliance Prize. We are grateful to the Museum of Fine Arts Houston for the use of this wonderful auditorium, and we would like to thank them for their continued support of RDA programs. We also want to thank the Rice School of Architecture and Dean Sarah Whiting for the continued support of our organization and mission. And we're very pleased to have this evening the Consul General of Japan in Houston, Mr. Osawa. Please take note of the schedule of programs and events as listed on the screen. The Fall Lecture Series, A Material World, runs in October from the 6th to the 27th. And the 2010 Annual Gala honoring Art Story will be held November 13th. For more information, please visit the RDA website at ricedesignalliance.org. As listed on the screen, please note the sponsors for the Spotlight and join me in thanking them for sponsoring tonight's event. Tonight, as a courtesy to our guests, please silence your cell phones and do not use flash photography. Good timing. 2 years ago at an RDA program committee meeting, a proposal was brought forth for a lecture series to recognize emerging talent in architecture and design. Through subsequent discussions, the program committee and board of directors decided not only should RDA highlight outstanding young architects, but that we should institute a prize for such talent on an annual basis. This initiative has been called Spotlight, the Right Design Alliance Prize. An evaluation and selection committee was formed with architects and academic representatives from the University of Houston, which is Rafael Longoria, and from Rice University, which is John Kasbarian. In addition, Carlos Jimenez, a local architect with international recognition, has joined the committee as well. Through a series of meetings, multiple candidates have been considered and shortlisted. From the pool, Anton Garcia Abril from Spain emerged as the inaugural prize winner in 2009. A similar protocol was utilized to select the 2010 candidates. In a moment, my colleague Rafael will more specifically address why Sou Fujimoto was the committee's unanimous decision for the choice of this year's award. I want to first of all briefly explain the criteria informing our selection. Eligible honorees for the Spotlight Prize must be within the first 15 years of professional practice. The committee convenes annually to consider local, national, and international architects who demonstrate design excellence and promise a great design future. With that in mind, it's my pleasure to introduce Rafael Longoria, the ACSA Professor of Architecture at the University of Houston.
Good evening. Sou Fujimoto is a native of Hokkaido, Japan, and studied architecture at the University of Tokyo. He has never worked for an architecture firm. Soon after graduating from the University of Tokyo at the age of 23 in 1994, and if you want to do the math, he is 39 years old, so that qualifies him as a young architect by any standard. It certainly looks even younger than that. Soon after graduating from the University of Tokyo in 1994, he opened his own office and immediately started getting recognition for the quality and innovation of his work. This Spotlight Award caps a decade and a half of continuous prizes, which include 4 straight years of juried awards from Architectural Review of London, to the point where they finally just invited him to be on the jury of the Architectural Review Awards. A recent Wallpaper Design Award for the Best New Private House, inclusion in the 40 Under 40 Award in this year, 2010, by Perspective, as well as jury selection for Archiprix 2009 in Uruguay. And many others that recognize practically every building he has ever worked on. These buildings are starting to span around the world now. He's in the process of doing a project in China. He won a competition for a library in Stockholm recently and has started his first American commission, which in typical fashion is a little addition in Los Angeles to a home. And is now a visiting professor at the University of California at Los Angeles, as well as being now a visiting professor at his alma mater, the University of Tokyo. I will turn this program back to have the formal award presentation, but I would like to note that one of his recent projects in Tokyo is the boutique for the fashion designer Issey Miyake. And for you fashion fans, he's featuring today a coat by his most recent client.
Thank you, Raphael. At this moment, I'd like Kimberly Hickson, President of the Rice Design Alliance, to join myself and Mr. Fujimoto at the podium.
Good evening. On behalf of the Rice Board, I'd like to present this Spotlight Award. And it's not only a candelabra, but also a flag. Congratulations.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for coming today, and thank you very much for this precious prize for me. And thank you very much for this precious opportunity to do a lecture in this wonderful Mies van der Rohe's architecture. This is the first time for me to be in Houston. But for these 2.5 days, I'm really enjoying Houston's life. So thank you very much. And today, the title of my lecture is a Primitive Future. It might sound a little bit strange, but I'm thinking, of course, that every architect is thinking about future, how is the future, or what is the future architecture. But I think architecture in the future should be based on the human body. In every future, architecture is for a space for people. So I like to base on the human primitive feelings and redefine or restart to think about the architecture from that point. That means the primitive future. Okay, so the first question is the nest or cave. And I like to do the simple definition of the nest. The nest is a space well prepared for people. So we're thinking about the nest for people. It is a very, very functioning, well prepared for people to live, something like that. So I think the 20th century's functional architecture is a good nest for people. And this is the famous drawings by Le Corbusier, and to show how the functional architecture is. So you can see the slabs, and you can put any various kinds of walls, and then you will find the well-designed functional space for people. And then, what is the cave? Yeah, I like to say the cave is not a space for people. It is a very good contrast. The nest is well prepared for people, and the cave is not a space for people, because the cave exists before people. But I think when you enter the cave, then of course at first you will be embarrassed, but gradually you will be a little bit creative to find your own comfortable space, or find your own, I would say, functions to sit on, or to lie, or to put these kind of things on. So, yes, the cave itself is not well prepared for people, but inside of the cave, then you will be more and more creative to find, to innovate your functions. So I think it's a very good contrast. The nest is prepared, well prepared. The cave is not prepared, but it will be very creative. And in 21st century, I think just only a functional architectures are a little bit boring. So I like to create a little bit beyond function. So cave-like spaces could be a starting point. Think about that. And this project is my first trial to realize the cave-like space in artificial way. And this looks a little strange, but this is a house, conceptual house. And the point of this house is this many steps. The size of these steps is 35 centimeters. And that size is based on the human body size. The 35 centimeter you can sit on, and the double size, the 70 centimeter, you can use as table, or you can use these steps as shelves to put books or something. So you can see, you can see many people is using these steps in various ways. So there is, in a sense, no functions in here. But if you like to do something, then some kind of functions is emerging to you. So the functions in here is in the relationship between you and your body and the space. So there is no prepared functions, but various kinds of different functions will emerge according to your behavior. And this is the drawings. Yeah, you can see various body behaviors and the relationship between these steps and bodies. And sometimes you can see dogs and cats and something, animals. So this is, of course, a place for people, but at the same time, not only a place for people, but the animals can use the steps as they like. So cave-like space is more, how to say, flexible or more diverse, which, how to say, how you react to the space. And this is one of the first models I myself made. At that time, my office is very small. I'm the only one people. I have to make this model. And this is a very small model, but the first inspiration. So you can see 3 space-like area, but these spaces are continuous. And the whole area is like a landscape-like space. And then you can sit on, or you can use these steps as tables or something. And the outside shape is also, I would say, not strict, more cloud-like things. So I try to create something different from a usual house, but something very fundamental, more fundamental than the existing usual house. And this is a photo I took in Vietnam. And this is a marketplace. So with many things they have to sell, but they don't sell, and they just sleep inside of these items. And I was really impressed by this marketplace, because she finally found her own comfortable space in this chaotic situation. And this is my office. And again, with many models and a chaotic situation, and he found his, I hope, comfortable space. And again, this is photos in Bangkok. And yes, a lot of things. This is actually outside. And she finally found her own comfortable space. So I think in such a chaotic situations, chaotic landscape, people can find their own comfortable functions to put their items and to put their bodies on it, something. And this is one of it again, with many, many models. So I think this is one of the fundamental things, to find our own space, own place in landscape-like space. And in this house, we propose the structural things. There's no huge structures, but very, very small, small structures. So in this case, we, deny the big floor, but we divide the floors in small pieces and reorganize these floors as furnitures and architectures, mixture of the furnitures and architectures, and to create this kind of a step-like space. And because of this, small structure, then this irregular shape is very naturally realized. Because if you have a very strong structure, it should be the frame-like, the regular shape. But if you just connect the adjacency steps, then the structures could be realized. So this is a trial to create not a strong modern-like structures, but more, soft-like or organic things. And here again, I like to do the contrast of the modern architecture and our proposal. Yes, this is a Corbusier. And here you can see only 3 elements: the floors and the pillars, columns, and stairs. And I think the modern architecture likes to define divide the architecture in limited elements. But in this case, only 3 elements. Divide and define simply and assemble them again. So in modern architecture, they like to make it, limited elements. Floors, columns, and stairs, for example, in this case. So this is very, very similar to a machine, where we can divide, the engines or bicycles in small pieces and define each pieces, each elements, and assemble again together. That is the philosophy of the modern architecture. We could say that modern architecture is an architecture as a machine. And on the contrary, this case, you can say this is, for example, floor, but at the same time, this is not only a floor, but stairs, or sometimes this is tables or chairs, benches, something. So you cannot say this is this and this is not this, but every element is, at one moment, it is a floor, but in a different moment, it is a chair, something like that. So we can say no floor, or we can say no floor, no pillar, no stairs, but every element is melting together. And it works in a different way depending on how you react to the space. So that is a very different point. In modern architecture, if you say this is a floor, that is a floor. But in this proposal, the floor is sometimes not the floor. Could be chairs or the tables or something different. So all the elements could not be divided, but melting together to create the gradation of the landscapes for people to behave as they like. And this is the very, very conceptual model. But after 5 years, the first project we done in 2000, the year 2000. And then after 5 years, I got an opportunity to realize this idea in a different way. This is the model. And we won the competition to design a small wooden house. And the jury was totally good, so he understood the good quality of this idea. But this time, oh sorry, this time we used not the steam slabs, but the solid wooden block. And this is not a laminated wood, but the real solid wood. Because this is the condition to design a wooden house, so we have to use the wood. And another good condition is the client will provide all the materials, so all the wooden materials. So I thought it's nice, it's better to use more and more the huge amount of wood, because they will provide many woods. So I decided to use not the slabs, but the blocks, to stack up to create the 35 centimeter landscapes. And this is a very, very small project. You can see about 4 meter height and 4.2 meter. So the size of the buildings is really small. But the inside of the space, you can see from the entrance, it's like a spiral shape. Because there is no first floor, second floor or something, but the floor is gradually going up. So it is a very, very three-dimensionally complicated space. So inside of this small cube, you can experience various different spaces. And again, the concept is the same, the static architecture. And you can use these steps as you like. And as this drawing shows, the layout of the people is very, very unique. Not only on the same level, but in a different level. And you can communicate in a different, how to say, height. And then we made many, many models. Because if you cut this architecture as a plan, but that plan does not mean anything, because we have 11 different levels. So if you cut one plan, but that does not mean anything. In the relationship of each 11 plans, then we can see the space. So we use many, many, many models. And of course, finally, we have to draw many sections. Because in every section, in every 35 centimeter, the section is different. All the 12 sections in these directions, and another 12 in the 90-degree different directions. Of course, in this case, at that time, my office is not only me, but I have 3-4 staffs, so I asked them to do all these things. We can realize. And this is the materials. Here you can see this is another line. And these holes are pre-fabricated according to the precise plans. And then stack them in a very, very primitive way. And finally realize. And you can see these glasses. So this is not just a sculpture like this, but covered by glass roofs and glass windows. So this is, and it has a kitchen and the WC restroom and shower. So it is a small but real architecture. And inside you can see, he's sitting in between these 35 centimeter, and she's sitting in different levels. And you can see various useless or useful different levels. And you will find your own functions in it. You will be very, very creative. Here you can sit on lying on sleeping area. And I found in this small space, at least 5 people can sleep. So you can find this 2.1 meter and 70 centimeter space. We lay out in one, and another one, and maybe around here, and here, and there. So 5 people in different dimensions can sleep here. And he's sitting on the actually kitchen, but it's okay because kitchen is not absolute kitchen. But if you sit on, then there is a bench-like space or the study space. So the space itself is very small, but it's a kind of a various layers of the functions. If you like to use these steps, then that steps is a chairs or tables or kitchen or something. And yeah, this small piece of 35 centimeters size and 35 centimeters could be a special place for her. Of course, we asked her to sit on, but it's possible. And this kind of nice, look-like conversation is possible. And the site is very, very beautiful. Facing the valley, and this is our building. And the client is the manufacturer, not manufacturer, but the how to say, wood manufacturing company. So they are growing these trees and cut and manufacturing the timbers. So they can provide the many timber blocks as they like. This is actually the cave-like space. But I like to say this wooden house project looks a little bit too much literally like cave because it is an irregular shape and inside of the cave you can see the cave-like space. But I don't want to mean I like to create such kind of a literally cave-like space, but more, how to say, conceptual cave-like space. So I like to extend the concept a little bit more. So here, cave as city. This is the mental hospital for children. And 50 children is living here to get better. And this is the exterior view. And in this case, yes, you can imagine 50 children is living here. So this architecture should be a house for each children. But at the same time, it could be a small city-like space because 50 different people is living inside. So that kind of duality or contradictions could be, how to say, translated to architecture. And this is a plan. It looks like just a scattering box, but this is a final actual plan. And this red box is this each white 2-story boxes. And it contains, for example, bedrooms, or the restrooms, bathrooms, or the study space, living space, some different kinds of function, more and more functional space. And these in-between space, we cover by roof. And to this area, for example, the living space, dining space for children, and multi-purpose space. And the important point of this project is this randomness. Because of this randomness, you can find this irregular corner. And this irregular corner is like a, how to say, half prepared and half not prepared place for people, for children. And children find this space, then they couldn't understand what is the function of that. And then children can be very free to re-understand or originally understand or originally define this is such kind of space for them or something like that. So all of these corners has no functions, but at the same time could have a potential for children to use as they like. So because of this random layer of this space, all of the space has, in a sense, no intentions. This is like I have to say, forest. These huge trees, and in between trees, big space, small space, rather darker space or a bright space, and then children can select according to their feelings or according to their relationship with their other children. Then they can use as they like. And this is a main living space, but this is a little bit hidden corner. So this hidden corner they can use as to create some kind of distance, gradient distance between me and the other guy. If you like one, how to say, girl, then you can go out. But if you don't like such guy, then you can come in and protect your area. So such kind of possibility to select the relationship or select the distance between the people is a very, very important point of this project. And this is the photos. This corner is rather protected. In this corner, small corner, but open to the small patio. And this corner, middle size, and this corner is facing a different, more big view to the ocean. So you can see, you cannot see what is the intention. But there is no intentions, but just to provide the space for children to select or to understand according to their daily life. But of course, we had many difficulties because after this plan is finished after 6 months of design process, so we have to precisely do this plan with many intentions. But at the same time, after 6 months, it looks like just a scattering a box in 1 day or in 1 minute. So at first, client couldn't understand what we are doing because just a scattering box and no design. But the concept they understood because to provide the student, the children to hide in or to select as they like. Then after the, how to say, sharing the concept, we precisely adjust each distances of these boxes. So this box and this box should have such kind of a relationship. The staffs could have, people could have to go quickly from here to here or from here to here, or a bathroom is here, so these children and these children can share or something like that. We design very, very precisely, but the result, it looks like no design. That is a main point. I mean, the method is very clear, and the process is very precise, but the result is, how to say, just a random, no intentions. So we can, I like to say, we can combine very clear method, clear form, but no intention or a random or no design like things together. It is a, how to say, I think good challenge to design something beyond artificial method. And in the modern age, we have to decide every things in an artificial way. But this trial is proposed something different, very precise, but at the same time, very, very rough, random. And after this process, we can get, or children can get, some very freedom because of this no intention space, forest-like space. And I think the forest is a good analogy to explain this. There are many trees, but you don't know why trees is here and not here, or why these trees could be crowded or not crowded. But you can use that kind of openness or narrowness or protected feelings or rather dangerous feelings according to your functions or according to your behaviors. So I like to provide such kind of an open system, very precisely designed but open system. And this is one of our first trial to realize a forest-like space. and this is a multi-purpose space. And you can see the various different light is coming through between these boxes. And we selected white color because in this architecture, the light is coming in different directions according to the time. And the colors of the walls or the gradation of the walls is changing by time. So it's very, very rich experience to see the delicate difference of this color. So I propose to the client, white is not just a white. White has a very, very various kinds of color. So for this interior, the white is the best color. And you can see the beautiful gradation of this light. And this is a small corner facing to the small patio. And the exterior view is like out of the small city, not city, but the town or village, the natural imagined small village-like space. And like this. This is located in Hokkaido, the northern island of Japan, in a very, very countryside. And this is a different trial to create the artificial cave-like space. But in here, I like to say, between inside and outside, between city and house. So this in between things is the important point of this house. Here, this is a model photo. And this is a private house, and for a couple in a residential area in Japan. And here, this house is very simple. Box, big box, middle box, small box. So a box house. And the interesting point of this project is this big box has many, many openings, but there is no glass, no skylights. So inside of this big box is outside. So we can grow the trees and the rain comes in, the wind blows. Inside of this big box is completely outside. And then this middle box has a skylights and glass. So inside of this box is inside, of course, but outside of this small box. And this small box has no glass, so it is just a boundary. But here, outside of this small box is still inside. So it's a kind of a confusing situation because yes, outside of this middle box is outside, but inside of this big box, or something like that. So if you have three box, box, then inside and outside is, I would say, melting or confusing. And you cannot say which is inside, which is outside, definitely. That is a very, very exciting point, I think. Then, I like to show this gradation. This is the usual house. Inside is inside and outside is outside. But I try to create some kind of a gradation. Inside, deep inside, but a little bit inside, a little bit outside. Almost outside, but a little bit inside. Such kind of gradations could be a nice experience for a private house. Because if you have only inside and outside, you can select only two. But if you have gradations, then you will select various different grades, for example. Yeah, this is, for example, the wall, and you divide inside and outside. But if you have inside, outside, in between various color, then the selection will be, I would say, rich, getting more and more rich. You can select this in between area or this in between area according to your activities. So I like to propose this kind of gradation as an architecture. And in this case, the house is in the city, so city is outside. And gradually, you will be protected inside. And again, this is a joint. So we give simple form to the gradation, just like the shape of the gradations. Box, box, box. And outside box is almost outside, like this area outside. And the middle box inside, and we have another box. And there's a section. This is a big box. But inside of this big box is outside. And then middle box, but you still have another small box. So you can select this, the gradation areas as you like. And I was grown up in Hokkaido area. Hokkaido is a very countryside with just nature. And my house is architecture. So in Hokkaido, inside is completely inside, and outside is outside nature. And sometimes it's very cold in Hokkaido, so it is very serious to have a definite inside and definite outside. But I moved to Tokyo when I entered to the university. And I find in Tokyo, the situation is a little bit different. The room is very small. And then if you go out of the rooms, you can find a narrow path in front. And then you go out to the path and go down the stairs, then you will find the street very narrow. And then protected by, surrounded by small two-story wooden houses. So the feelings of outside is not a completely outside, but protected or surrounded by many, many things. So it's a kind of a gradations. Inside of your room is well protected, deep inside. And if you open the door, then it's not outside, but slightly one step outside, 2 steps outside, 3 steps outside. And then that is very, very comfortable for me. That experience is kind of a feelings of an extended house and melding the house to the city-like feelings. And I like to create such kind of a gradation inspired by the Tokyo experience. And this is the first trial for me to give a shape to the gradations in a very, very direct way. And then the client understood the concept, fortunately, and I realized. And you can see the surroundings is a very typical 2-story wooden house, Japanese residential area. And then suddenly these white boxes appear. And it looks very huge, but you can see inside of this box, big box is just an outside garden-like space. So this is not the size of the house, but the size of the, residential or living area of the client. So from the street, you can see through this house to the sky, or you can see through this house to the neighbor's house. So it is a very big volumes, but at the same time, it is a very transparent, very thin volumes. And inside of this big box, you can see skies with many trees. So slightly protected area, nice openness and nice, surroundedness. And you can see the second box and third box inside. And then this is the photo of some ruins in Japan. And I think I like this photo because this is not architecture anymore, but it has some area or field or space for people to be or to start again in their life. So this is just a wall, and the wind is blowing and the trees is coming, but it has some kind of a territory for people to make, for example, to make one house here. Then it could be a box-in-box house. And I like to say this is the end of this architecture, but there could be the starting point of architecture again, to rethink about these existing ruins as a cave-like space. So this has no functions, but if you like to have, it has some kind of territory functions. And then you will find slightly your own house area. So I like to realize these kind of ruling feelings in contemporary architecture in a very proper way. Then this is one of the answer, the box and box box. If you have only this big box, this is not a house. And if you have only this middle box, this is a usual house. But if you combine this big box and middle box and the small box, then this is the new proposal of architecture, or new proposal of the lifestyle. And this is a view from the inside. You can see small box and middle box and big box with many, many openings. So the openings could be a layer. And then finally you can see clouds. And the clouds could be the other layers of the house. So now this house has a 3 box, box and box and box. But we can imagine another one bigger box to include this house, not only this house, but the neighbor's house, to create an urban strategy. So it has a kind of a scale-less strategy to define the territories or the privacies between the people and the urban situation. And according to the precise design of this position of the openings, you will find very big openness to the upper part and well protected to the street level. So it is kind of a different layers of the gradations. Not only just a box and box and box, but you will select this corner is protected, and that if you stand up, then you can see a view to the streets or something like that. So more complicated gradient situation is created, and people will select according to the how open or how protected in this house. So now we put the furniture in it, but sometimes it's okay to not follow to the furnitures, but just lying on the floors or sit on the, something to behave as you like. And this is the small box, middle box, and big box with trees, something, furnitures. So in this white box and box box, many kinds of things is now integrated, or how to say, coexisting. Trees, natural things, neighbor's house, the furnitures outside, furnitures inside, many, many things of the clients, and the skies, clouds, all the different things are together in these layers or frames. So I think the architecture could provide some kind of a very clear frames which can connect these various things together in one space. Because we have many different kinds of stuffs in your private house. And I don't want to, I would say, clean up the house as it is, or more and more things should be crowded in the house. And then the space could be more and more rich. The clean-up space looks very nice, but I think it is not the reality. With many, many things could have a relationship to each other to make a rich the layers of the information for you to behave according to that kind of things. This is another view. But unfortunately, usually the architectural photo is taken in these clean-up situations. But yeah, I think I hope to take a photos 20 years later with many various things after the real life. And this is a photo I like very much because, of course, this is a house I designed. This is the neighbors with this is sleeping things. They are drying, and small messy greens, and some kind of traffic signs, and I don't know, but it looks very dangerous. Electricity lines, the various different styles of houses. So this is a real Japanese confusing streetscape. And then we make this box. But you can see inside of this big box there's nothing but trees, just outside garden. So make a big area, to enclose a big area without anything, just trees. And you can see this edge is the middle box edge. So you can understand how big is this outer box. And this shows inside of this crowded situation, you can make one enclosure to slightly indicate the territory of the client. And then you can find the house itself, including house, including gardens, trees, including everything. So it shows the house is not just a house, just an object, but house is to create some territory itself. And inside of the territory you can see the many trees, like a bush. And you can see the upper half is, I have to say, empty. There's nothing, just air or void. And the lower half is a house. So it was really tough work to how to persuade the clients, because this big box is just enclosing the air and nothing. And of course, without this big box, you can live inside of this house because this is a real house. But we proposed this useless big box. So I brought the model to show how nice is a garden. But the husband says, if there is no this big box, is it possible for us to live in this house? He asked us, or how to say, politely. But it is a very, very, how to say, tough question for us to answer. And I couldn't answer, just smiling. And then the wife answered to him. What a silly question. This big box is the most important point for this house. Without this, there is nothing, she said. So she understood the quality of the slightly protected garden or slightly protected house itself, such kind of a layout in the sky or something. She understood through the models. And then the husband says, okay, I like to understand. And finally they said, okay, you can make. But of course, after completion, experience this kind of a huge exterior room-like space or the layouts of the skies, they really understand and they really are satisfied with that house. And as you can see, inside this big box is outside, but the protected garden area. And you can spend the time in here. And these neighbors are well cut out to, how to say, to demolish the very bad part and to frame the better part of these neighbors. This house is very usual house, but if you make it in frame, then it looks a little bit better. And this green is a neighbor's green, but you can take it in your house. And of course, we have many electricity lines, but with these frames, then it will be some kind of artworks like that. So even in these crowded urban situations, we can propose some kind of a gradations to create the better circumstance, better environment for people to live. And this is another house. This is an image sketch. To live in one big house. Because this house is a family of 3, and parents and a small daughter. And then we proposed this kind of a house. I mean, big tree has some branches. These branches is like private rooms. But these private rooms is not completely divided to each other. But we can feel the atmosphere to each other. We can share the feelings of the whole house. Then the parents and the daughters could have a privacy area, but at the same time, the family-like feelings. Yeah, this is the finished photos. And of course, the shape is not tree-like, but the space or the relation of the space are the tree-like. The plan is like this. The site is very limited, so we have to use the rectangular shape. And the requirements is so many rooms, so we have to divide these small pieces in 4. So dining space, kitchen, living space, and entrance hall, for example. But we have to stack in 3.5 stories. Then we proposed with many rooms, but with many openings, not only on the walls, but on the floors or ceilings. So every rooms are connected to each other to create some kind of I would say, the relationship to each other. And then I proposed to create some kind of a tree-like space. Each branches are independent, but at the same time, the networks of the relationships could create some kind of unity. This is a one big space, I think. And so many rooms, but at the same time, one room. And again, these photos. So dining space, living space, connected to each other. It's normal, but this is the daughter's space and the parents' bedrooms connected to each other, to each other, to each other. And you can see the openings of the ceilings. Here, here, here. So actually, almost every room has openings on the floors, and ceilings, and the walls, every walls. So from outside, it's rather usual cube-like space. But inside, this is the floors are big, so you can step on, but you can see through the in between this space. And if you look up from the kitchen, then you can see the daughter's face. And then through this daughter's face, you can see the terrace, and through the sky. So this really complicated form, very simple, with many rooms, with many openings to connect every rooms to each other. But the experience is very complicated and rich. Yeah, from the daughter's face, you can see these directions, up directions, straight directions, look down directions, look right and straight, or something like that. So there are many diagonal viewpoints to be realized. And then you will find some corner is privacy corner, but in some area connected to each other. And thinking about this small daughter and the couple, family, it is, I think, very nice to share all the space in the house. And very small privacy is enough. Yeah, from the terrace you can see, look down. And this is the bathroom. And we proposed, bathtub is one of the big openings. And we proposed to use the glass bottom floor at first, but finally it's only this was rejected. You can see the bottom of the bathroom is from the living space something. It was too tough for them. But this size of this bathtub is very nice.
And again, this is a terrace. So this is a skylights. And like the box house, we have another roof on the terrace and another openings. It is just the openings. So the skylights, this is a real roof, but the another roof above and another window or openings. So we made various kind of layers. And finally, we didn't intend it, but it is like Escher's drawings. Yeah. So which directions you see, then some openings, and then next room, and next room. And with many, many stairs. So it's kind of a multi-direction, multi-dimension space of Escher. Of course, it's not the kind of Escher-like confusing or annoying situation, but more comfortable Escher. And this is another example to treat the relationship between the city and the house. But this is a model. And this is an apartment house in Tokyo. And as I talked to you, Tokyo is, in Tokyo, the division of the house and the city is not so clear. It is melted together to create some kind of a territory for people to live. So in this case, we have to make some apartment house in Tokyo. Then it is a chance, nice chance for me to realize half house and half city-like architecture. Even if it is very small, but it is a nice mixture of the house and Tokyo city. So we proposed very small house shape, real house shape, to stack up, to create an impossible city-like space. But this is very small, so each of unit is not each house shape, but this house shape, and this house shape are connected together to create a one unit. Then you have to walk through from here to here, or you have to go out to step up the roof and come inside this box. So living in this one unit includes not only interior life, but a little bit city life. To go out, to step up, and to walk on the roof. Such kind of city activities are included in living inside. And then complicatedly mixed together to create the apartment house. Again. And yes, you can see he's sitting on the roof and he's running on the roof. Because it is really Tokyo-like situation, but at the same time, there is not such a kind of a crazy building in Tokyo. So good representation of the real Tokyo and impossible Tokyo at the same time. Yet very simple idea. But many efforts to create the models. And finally, we realize this is not a Photoshop, but they're real. And again, you can see many electricity lines. And these stairs go up and walk up on the roof, then come inside. They are like this. And this is another stairs to go up, to walk up on the roof. And this and one deep inside are connected. And this upper part is connected. And this is the owner's house, and this is another house. So this is very, very small apartment, only 4 units, and one of 4 is owned by owner. And this is a good contrast with the usual house and this house. Not so different, but clearly different. So Tokyo has a big power to, include all of these crazy things together. So we made it white because in a sense, to resist the Tokyo power, to mix everything together. But at the same time, it's kind of to show clearly the concept. And And inside is like this. And from here, you can climb up the stairs to go out of the roof, or I like to say to walk through, to climb up through the in-between space of the bottom of the floor and the top of the roof. And then you can go up to the upper part. With these strange landscapes. And the structure is a timber structure, so you can see some of the columns is coming. And one column is from here to go through here, to here, to here. And some of them are here, 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 here. So it is not a very, very smart structure. But yeah, actually yes. But in the process of this design, I gradually enjoy this kind of rough, disturbing the lower part of this house, because it is kind of accident. And then such kind of layers of the accidents is really like a Tokyo situation, because Tokyo is not well, honestly, organized. Somebody created the ugly things. Then the next door is more ugly house, ugly house, ugly house. That is a kind of accident and a positive accident to enjoy the chaotic situation. So in my office, small world, I enjoy the small accidents of the structure. And then, of course, these structural elements is also the accident, or we intended to expose these structural elements, because the whole structure and the windows is not in good harmony, but such kind of a misharmony situation is a very Tokyo-like, I feel. And sometimes I put some kind of a imitating structure in here or in some different area to show the situation more confusing. Anyway, this is another stuck-in box project, but in this case, this is a private house, but in this case, we stuck not only boxes, but we stuck trees. This whole house is a one private house, and each box is a private rooms, each rooms, and each rooms has its own trees above. And then mixture of the nature and architecture. These rooms is very small, so small rooms, small trees mixed together to create half natural landscape and half artificial landscape. Yeah, about 2 meter high, 2 meter high. So it's a minimum size. But I intended to create this stepping landscape as a, not architecture, not big architecture, but the landscape like, the feeling is you can, if you want, you can climb up to these boxes. So that kind of feeling was very important for me. And the plan was very complicated, but finally we realized. And in summertime, the tree is growing. It's from above. And we have many stairs, so inside, for example, from here, you can go out, go down, and come inside from this level. And then you can go out, go down, and come out, and something. So not every rooms are separated. Some of the rooms are connected to inside. But inside stairs, outside stairs, you can walk through this house as freely. So this house is very small, but you can select a different route to experience in a different way. For example, to access to this book, you can have one stairs and different stairs to go up and to enter in different directions. And every room has a big window or a glass wall. So even this is very small, but the feelings inside is half exposed to the garden, this protected garden, and half inside. It's a really unique feelings, like this. And this project is organized by Toyo-Ito, yeah, you can see here. The Toyo-Ito selected three architects to design private houses. And the client is not a private, but a big company, Tokyo Gas Company. And they like to promote some kind of a new lifestyle. So this is the purpose of this project. So this is a real house, but not the real house. So like a conceptual house. But of course we realize as a house. And then this is the opening ceremony of this house. Very, very cozy party. And Toyo and another architect, Taira Nishizawa, and the environmental engineer. And then this is the client. Looks like it. But yeah, not angry. It's just sleepy. Anyway, I found he finally was very satisfied with this project. And Toyo is very, how to say, open mind, and sometimes he supported me. He was a jury of the Wedding House project, and he again selected me for this project. So I didn't work to any architecture office, but finally he's one of my great teacher and father in architecture. And then inside, yeah, this is the inside view. So covered by glass, and you can go up by stairs. So it is very small scale, but like a climbing up the trees feelings. So this sense of body is a very, very, how to say, amazing. How to have fun to move around this architecture. So very, very nice. And in autumn, the colors of the leaves is changing. So we selected 13 different trees according to the colors of the flowers, and the color of the trees, or the shape of the trees. So you can enjoy the various different phenomena of the trees. And actually, this house is promoted by the big company. And they like to sell this house. So if you like to live in Japan, this is now for sale. I don't know the price, but actually they said it's a super price. So it's one good things to think about. And then you can see the bed, size of the bed is very big compared to the size of the rooms. So it is very, very unique or strange experience. You are inside, but feeling outside. Okay, so this is the last project. I'm very sorry that I'm out of my time, but this is the main project office today. We finished a big library in Tokyo, and that is the biggest project for my office. And the library for Art University. So the first concept is library of library. So we started from the bookshelves. The bookshelves is growing to create a space for people, and then finally the monster of the bookshelves library. This is from above model photos, but the spiral bookshelves. And the bookshelves is very big, like this. So with many, many openings. So it's a kind of many layers of the bookshelves to create the space of library. But this spiral shape or form has a very important meanings. Here, one is search ability and strollability. So of course the one important function of the library is to find the books, to search books, very, very functionally. But at the same time, I think another very nice experience in library is to strolling, walking around with no intention, with no purpose, just to get the inspirations. Especially this is an art university, so it's more and more important for them to use the library as such a walking around, strolling situations. But unfortunately, these two is completely opposite concept. Very, very systematically find books, one books is such a beauty. And no finding books, just strolling as they like, is a story. But I like to combine these opposite concepts together in one simple form. And then after a study process, we found this spiral shape. And this spiral shape has two different characters. One is these radial systematic directions, because it has, if you stand in the center, then you can see each categories in each directions as a clock. So it is very systematic. If you are here, then one category, 1, 2, 3, 4, you can find immediately which way to go and follow the numbers of the books. Because as you know, that all the books in the world is numbered from the 000 to 999. And then if you like, you can follow that number. I don't want to do that, but it is possible. So this is a very systematic aspect of the spiral shape. But at the same time, spiral shape with many openings is really confusing as a space. If you walk, then you can find different something view through these openings. Then you will be easily lost in the spiral. So I think this spiral form could have two opposite aspects in its same shape. Then we introduce this shape to the library. And again, this is the center, so we have a counter. And then these directions is the art books, the 7th categories, 8, 9, first, the second, something like that. And then, but if you start to walk without purpose, then you will find the space will lead you, not systematic, but unexpected experience. This is a model photo. So all the walls is covered by bookshelves. So the library itself is made by huge long bookshelves, but with many, many openings. So if you are walking, then you will find unexpected directions, unexpected something. So you will be confused in a positive way, meanings to walk around. Yeah, this is the kind of a book that is. And of course, the library is very, very complicated program. So we stacked the necessary things in the ground floor, and then you go up to the 2nd floor. So it is a continuous space, but a different level. And then this is not the model photo, but construction photo. Looks like a model, but they're different. And then we put many, many styles, so that the inside of this library could be a kind of a forest-like half outside space. And then finally, it's finished. This is a real photo again. And you can see from outside many, many bookshelves, of course without books, covered by glass. So it is, from outside you can see huge bookshelves is standing in between these trees. This is not like an architecture, but huge bookshelf itself. And of course, if you, in 20 years later, if you have to extend the library, then you will put booths here and use these bookshelves as a real bookshelves. So it could, the spiral could be some kind of extending means, like a Corbusiers art museum. So we proposed to put the bookshelves even on the exterior walls. Yeah, this is like the boxing house, like layering, to create a gradation. And from outside, you can see through the inside bookshelves. And this is from inside the magazine area. You can see this window is so huge, so you can feel half inside and half outside. And this is interior. This is the stairs, huge bookshelves with many openings, with skylights, and these bridges connect the computer area. Yeah, this is an entrance stairs, so about 9-meter high ceilings with many bridges, like this. And you can see no books on the bookshelves, because finally librarian didn't want to put books on the upper part because it is very dangerous. But I think it's, in a sense, it's very, very positive. It's okay, because empty bookshelves could have some possibilities to be filled in the future, or to be used as an installation area, or to show some kind of absence of the books in this digital ebook age, or something like that. So we can start to think more and more about books and libraries or information. So I'm now very positive about bookshelves. Especially this area is a very, very empty bookshelves. And then you will go up through these huge stairs. Oh, you find some books. Yeah, with many bridges. And these photos, you can walk through these openings to go and back to the huge bookshelves. Yeah, lovely track bridges. And then, this area is more books. And you can find these numbers, huge numbers. It is the big signs to show which categories in here. And we are collaborating with a famous graphic designer to put these big signs. And this is another signs to show which directions to go to find such categories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 6, 5. This area is rather irregular, but it's okay. Not so strict, but such kind of accident is very, very interesting. And sometimes sleep. It shows very comfortable. But actually, sleep. But actually, I experienced this library is, how to say, we cannot say we walked all area, but I feel, or people feel, some kind of no visiting area, or how to say, I don't know. Some area we never be there, or some hidden space will be here, or some that kind of feelings is filled with this library. So people will stay longer than is necessary, and like to walk around to find. But even if you walk around all the area, but you will feel not satisfied. You can feel, I like to find another place or a different hidden place. So that is a very, very, I think, a nice result of this library, because not all area is, how to say, represented, or not, how to say, I have to find the sentences, but I couldn't. But you can imagine you like to walk around, define unexpected viewpoint or unexpected landscapes. And the roofs are no roofs, but the ceilings are the polycarbonate, the laminated material. This is very cheap material, but this is very nice because it reflects the light or reflects the bookshelves, but at the same time, the natural light is coming a little bit spreading properly. So you can see this is not just an object, but some kind of cloud-like, phenomena-like things. So the feelings without rules is realized. And this is an art library, art university. So they have many famous design chair of the 20th century. So they scattered these kind of strong character chairs inside the library, and the students can use freely these chairs. And this is a nice place, and other chairs. And this is in Tokyo, so if you have chance to visit Tokyo, I like you to visit here because, of course, I show many images, but experience this space is very, very different from the photos. So, and much better than, of course, photos. So, if you have chance, please visit this library. And then this is the end of my presentation. And I wonder, I started from the cave or nest, but finally there is no cave or nest, but more forest-like space. And as I told to you, the forest is the different translation of the cave, but more something like in between nature and architecture, and no intention, and intention between no intention and intentions. And like the last project library, it has the infinite depth of the informations, which people can access in a different way, original way. So for now, I think I'd like to create some kind of a forest-like architecture in various different ways, and to create something primitive, but at the same time something very fundamental and new things in the future. Thank you very much.
If anyone has questions, Mr. Fujimoto will respond.
Yes.
The house end, what is the construction? What material?
The big one and the middle one is RC concrete, and the small one is wood, because of the budget.
Over there? Yes.
I was wondering how much you care about welcoming the visitor, in the sense that they know where they are, when they enter your building, how soon they know where they are and where they need to go.
Of course, I'm welcoming every business, but I think most of our works is a little bit not so, how to say, not so kind, not so good at the first business. But I think the architecture is sometimes visiting again and again and again. Then gradually you will find unknown meanings, or you will find hidden way to use it, something like that. So I hope people will be, how to say, a little bit creative to find things in architecture. So the welcome things and such kind of hidden things is not the different things. I think. Welcome again and again and again.
Yes, right here? Yes.
You mentioned Corbusier and Nice at the start of your talk. I wonder if you would share some thoughts about the shrine at Issa.
Yes, it is the shrine of Issa is still a mystery even for me. But such kind of a simplicity and rebuilding every 20 years is it's kind of a mystery. So I'm very interested in the Japanese traditional things, and in between things or gradation things is inspired by the Japanese traditional architecture. But Shrine Issa is still far away from me. I like to try to wrap and to translate in my own way in the near future.
I can understand that, but there's a distillation in the forms at the shrine that is so simple and is so pure, and maybe it's because we're so far away. I see a tie.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so maybe the unexpected kind of a simplicity or some kind of primitivity could be we can share with the shrine Issa. But I like to deal with that tradition more and more.
Yeah.
I wanted to hear a little bit more about your precise randomness. And you have so many iterations of the project. You show so many of the models.
Mm-hmm.
What's the criteria? And in the end, is it composition?
Well, actually, it's a very, very tough point to answer. But in case of the children's hospital, we were following the programs, the functions. It sounds a little bit contradiction like things, but we follow the precise functions to define the layout. But even following the functions, we could not decide precisely which position is which or something like that. And then finally, I follow the principle that the form, for example, the random form, should have some shape which represent the random forms more and more clearly. And then, of course, that is a kind of finally the problem of the sense. But I like to finish that project in which random form, how random form requires to be. Is that okay?
One last question. Yes, Michael and George.
Because you seem to interchange primitive with origin. What is the Japanese, like how are you translating this from Japanese? Because I'm interested in terms of, because primitive is not like tradition. Tradition has its own sort of genealogy. So, help us sort of understand sort of the Japanese.
Japanese language, you know. Yeah, Japanese, yeah. But I think it's very strange, but at the moment I started to use primitive future. I just say primitive future, not a translation from the Japanese language. It's a little bit strange, but
well, it's an oxymoron for primitive future, it seems.
Yeah, because the primitive is very primitive, yeah, simple words, and the future is very simple. So I like to combine them together. to create something new, not from the Japanese specified meanings, but in Japan we can say gensho or genshi. Genshi, it's a straight translation of primitive. But yeah, sometimes the simple English sentence could inspire.
Great. Well, thank you all. We're a little late on time.